Good evening, I'm Zargonaut, and welcome to the studio. I'm just about to push the button that says run the intro, and OBS crashes. Not a good thing. So, it looks like he decided to host and then unhost Lady Luthien. So, great artist to have a look at. Not while I'm broadcasting, unless you want to do dual reception, but yeah, check out her streams. Now then, couple of things. Whiskers. I've got a feeling I want a bit more dark down there. And I've got a patch to fill in here, so we'll do that first, because that'll create lots of the smoky stuff. Okay, so just blending this in. I want to keep the wood quite hot while I'm working, so I'm only doing short lengths. Then the wood stays quite hot, so that when the next stroke goes over, it doesn't need as much heat, because a lot of it's already there. If I do all the way across, then this bit at this end's cooled off by the time I get back there. So it takes overall sort of takes longer to do. Well, getting wood to go this dark, it takes quite a bit of time, as you can see. As my eyes are a little bit sore, I'm quite glad that vapour isn't coming anywhere near me. So I am expecting to finish this today. And then, in theory, tomorrow we're starting some carving. Still not sure what I want to do. Potentially, if I do a wand, I'll be knife carving, I guess, maybe, rather than chisel carving. But I may well just do, as I mentioned before, a Hearthstone card. Or something like it. I'm not sure I'll copy the card well, not that I'll copy it exactly anyway, but copy the card. So we may leave things off like the wording. Actually, we might not, because I was thinking of leaving things like the banner and the wording off, but it looks kind of like you see them in America, so sometimes like big rock not planes, signs almost outside buildings with lettering on them. So I'm just thinking it kind of looks a bit like that, so maybe I might actually include that, which is sort of just changes the mind that I just changed to exclude it, but never mind. So this vapour that's coming off it's coming out of the wood. You can kind of see it on the surface of the wood for a short period of time, and it's been vaporised by the heat from the pen. So I'm guessing fairly certain that some of that liquid is being cooked, which is part of where the brown colour is coming from. So a fair amount of the brown colour is like a glaze set on top of the wood. Okay, there's some sort of joining the wood across there, which we will deal with in a moment once we finish blackening this off. easiest way to deal with that is probably to turn it over like this, so we can actually get into the small area. Because it very much feels like a slight groove. There we go. Now then, and this area down here, which is looking rather light. Okay, I think that will do that for the background. Let's turn this pen back down before I put it somewhere I shouldn't. Now then, I want it to work a little bit on this edge here. Looking at it, I want it to be a bit darker still. Actually, I probably need this pen up. There we go. Yeah, when I was looking at this afterwards, especially when I was looking on screen, this leg didn't quite look right. It seemed to be because it wasn't quite dark enough for down around here. So it made this edge look somewhat flat, which is why I'm now just currently working on it. Okay, let me take a look at what that looks like as you're seeing. Hello, Wolfie. Oh yeah, I was just studying what I was doing. Yeah, that looks a lot better than it did last night, a little bit there. So was that when it was your life or my life? That will do that, yeah. "18 minutes ago. Have I been streaming? 21 minutes. Well, I've actually been streaming. Well, no, I haven't. This session has been streaming for 20 minutes. I had the start screen up when I was just about to start streaming when OBS crashed. I had to load it up again, but well, I was here. I was having tea, as usual. That's the only reason I tend to be late. Food is important. I was cooking. I had been cooking some food, so I was going to eat it. Nice turkey breast roasted in the oven with roast potatoes. Now then, whiskers. Whiskers. Let's give him a couple of black whiskers on the left. Useless. What's useless? Me? Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, straight out. About my shoulder, yeah, about my shoulder. Yeah, it's a myth about a cat's whiskers being as wide as its body. They're not. Complete myth. Isn't it Theo who was asleep in a chair down there? Food. Says the wolfie who generally disappears towards the end of the stream to go get said food. and snacks and things like that before curling up with a film. Now to do something like this I could actually get out, or I could use a knife shape there, but I tend to find that cuts a bit too deep into the wood most of the time. So if I use the toe of this and I tip it up one end, I get quite a sharp edge, which I can then use to create fine lines. That is true, except you tell me frequently every night, so kind of public information. Now then, white whiskers. White whiskers, which basically means if I do white whiskers, I'm about finished with this pen. What's not true? That you tell me that, or that I'm finished with stream delay. It's a wonderful thing. You do frequently tell me. How would I know otherwise? Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a whisker in here, but we won't see it. And given that I won't see it, that's not showing it up, so I won't bother. I'm going to have the same over here, aren't I, if I do the same thing. Yeah. Okay, cats, including this one, tend to have the odd whisker from basically their eyebrows as well, but they're not going to show up on this. So you know everybody. Actually, you probably do know everybody on this stream. So I was about to say, but right. What this actually needs is kind of like a thin scraper rather than the point of a scalpel. But the point of the scalpel's the only thing I've got, so what we'll do then is we'll go. This is Wolfie's nighttime routine, Tiba. Have you heard me say that before? Of course, what I've just done, though, is tell him what it is. So even if he hasn't, then he has. So let's give him a long whisker right out of this here, and right out across the body there. Now, one of the tricks with doing whiskers and scraping them, one of the things you have to do to make it look real is to make sure it's smooth in terms of if there's a curve on it, that curve is a smooth curve, it doesn't suddenly bend. 90 degrees, because whiskers don't bend at 90 degrees. Yeah, but he still knows. It's only a bit of crafting, isn't it? I mean, you seem to have plenty of wood. So I'm going back over the same scratch because the shape of the scalpel blade tends to creates a groove, but like an undercut groove. So when you look at it from this side, you don't see the cut quite so much. So by going over from both sides, I sort of widen the groove a little bit, and the whisker becomes visible. You've got some log piles, they're home for beetles and things. Or doesn't that count? Get on and solve it then. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Sounds like a good solution. So next time you've learnt resource management is important. If at first you don't succeed, let the game run on its own for a while so that yeah. Now just making these whiskers a little bit more visible. So it's gone from a disaster to being quite good. Not bad going in the space of a few minutes. So you talk to me and things change completely. Yeah, you young ones, you're always impatient. You want everything now. Yeah, it's a big area. Have you thought how you're going to defend such a big area? Yeah. Is that a long distance? You know, never can tell always in games because quite often people can run at several hundred miles an hour in games. So there we go. I think I call that done. I do. I think that's yeah. I think I call that done. So we're now at 8:10. So, question now becomes, I can do one of two things now. I can do something else, or I can say that's it for tonight. What do you think, Wolfie? Yeah, but I'm not starting that tonight. I'm not starting anything. I'm not starting carving tonight. A, I'm not prepared for it. B, I haven't chosen the piece of wood that I've got that many to choose from. C, I've not prepped a design. D, I need to put something down on the floor before I start carving, otherwise I get wood all over the carpet, and I'm not going to do that. So the carving starts tomorrow. Something else. Okay. Oh no, but that's true. I could do some of this, or I could do a magic dots. Dan Pants 3D. Thank you very much for those. That's very kind of you. Magic dots. Alright then. Okay, so let's have a look. I picked one at random, so let me first that's off. Let me put this to one side. Actually, I can do the magic dots on here. Yeah, let's do them on here. So, I do not know what this is. I know, well, I did when I bought it, but I don't know. I guess I should change my stream title, shouldn't I? Since I've finished the leopard. So what have we got here? An elephant. Okay, with the baby elephant. We'll do the elephant. So let me fold this backwards. Ish. It's not going to fold very well, are you? See what I could do with a couple of clamps. He says, thinking. Next best thing. Okay, so if you're watching and don't know what magic knots are, they're a clown or something called diamond dots. Let me just change the stream title. I really should do that and take it out of woodworking. Otherwise... just remove the woodworking and we'll update that. There we go. So we're just we're in the right area now. I'm looking here and I can't really see the picture unless I look at what you're seeing, and then it's somewhat more obvious. But that's cross stitching is the same. You see a pattern like this, and it's not until it's finished and you can look at it from a distance do you actually see what it looks like. So let me put my sticky tape away to one side. Find, alright, there should be in here. No, there isn't. Oh, interesting. That didn't come with a tray. He says, wondering where the others went. Oh, didn't come with the tool. I've got two other tools, and now I can't find them. Anyway, I'll open this one. Beautiful pink. Hot pink to put the dots on with. I don't need that piece of plastic anymore. It can go in the bin. So, you know, I've just realised what these are. Well, what these are for. Little plastic bags to put your dots in when you've opened the pack. I think it never occurred to me before that's what they were for. Yes, silly bugger. Take the protective plastic off and you might work better. Trying to get some wax into this tool, and I didn't realise there was a protective piece of plastic on, so when I pushed it in, nothing happened. The wax in the end is what, in theory, picks up the dots. So let's start with number 6. Lullaby. Got a baby elephant and he's playing a lullaby. That's interesting. I'm looking at this nice long strip and thinking, do I really want to start in the middle? Yeah, why not? Okay, so put lots of these dots into this tray. Come on, aren't you? There is one difficulty with working with the easel for this, is I want to put this down on the table, but the easel's on the table. Okay. Yeah, you can just about see what I'm doing. So it's a bit like painting by numbers. These are dots number 6. I put them on the dots marked number 6. So it's not the most intellectually challenging hobby to do, isn't this? But it is quite good fun. And despite actually this one is smaller, it does progress quite fast. This one should actually be quicker to do than the last one, which was this size, but everything was a dot, the whole picture. There wasn't a place that wasn't covered by a dot. This one is slightly different, the background's pre-printed without it. Okay, fair enough. Enjoy your game. Before minutes pass. I wonder how much of this we will actually get done in the time. I think it's a bit awkward trying to do the ones in the middle because you've got nothing to rest your hand on. They get easier as you do more and you get more of the dots filled in, because then you can rest on the dots that you've already put in place. I guess a good snooker bridge hand is quite good for this. If you never played snooker, billiards, then you can sort of spread your hand out to create a rest, and the wider you spread, the more of a rest you can get. And again, if you haven't seen these before, these dots, well, these are, well, they're vaguely sort of a prism type shape, a faceted shape on the top. So what happens is they sparkle. I'm guessing these aren't as precisely made as diamond dots are, but they sparkle quite a bit as you sort of won't really see it a great deal here, but as sort of see the sparkle a little bit there in the tray. But when they're on the piece, as you get more of them on the piece, as you move past it, it sort of sparkles and twinkles and looks generally pretty for all sparkly lights. But that does mean you have to put these on the right way. They've got a flat side and they've got a domed side. So the domed side is up, the flat side is down, and it sticks on the glue. If you put them on upside down, it doesn't work as well. Neither does it stick very well, and it doesn't sparkle very much either. Tap the tray just to force a few of them to just jump a little bit and therefore potentially turn over, so that I can pick them up. You can do this sort of thing exactly however you like. I mean, some people, I am sure, start and go a row across and keep changing colours. Me, I tend to pick a colour and go through the image, putting that colour in wherever it is. Either is right, neither is wrong. And some people kind of do halfway in between. They'll do, you know, like the baby elephant. They'll do all the one colour in the baby elephant, then they'll change to another colour and do that and finish off that section. It's kind of how I do cross stitches, that I'll sort of work with a colour in an area. At least until I run out the length of the thread, and then I might change colour or I might carry on depending, but I tend to work in localised areas. One of the reasons being is when you've got a cross stitch, maybe this size or bigger, on a frame, you end up having to roll it back and forwards if you keep, go from end to end. So you tend to work in blocks, and from say bottom left across, or top left down to bottom right, sort of spreading out as you go along, and you sort of finish the top, so you can roll it and then expose more lower down. Now everywhere there's a number, there's sticky. So like here on the end of the tail. We're going to try and avoid touching the sticky areas. Just because you wear the sticky off, or you will get dust and grease and things on it and it's not sticky anymore, and then your dots don't stick. So I'm kind of being careful not to put my hands on the sticky areas. Also, it makes your fingers sticky, and you pull up the piece of paper you're working on, the canvas, and this does seem to be canvas. So that's been coated and then painted and then had the glue put over the top. I do kind of wish though, when they package these, they'd package them in a tube and roll them, because then there'd be a lot because they've got kind of folds in them at the moment. Take quite a bit of time before they fall out. As you can see, I've had to fasten it down to the board, well, to the piece of paper that's on the board, in order to get it to stay open. Those little usability things that don't really matter, but they kind of annoy you when they're not there. Not enough to sort of rage quit or anything like that, but just an irritation that sometimes discourages you from doing things. This kind of makes you, let's say, makes you feel like a human pick and place machine. Not that I have any idea how a pick and place machine feels, of course, but an electronics pick and place machine would kind of do things like this. Wouldn't be using a tray, we'd be using these things strung on a long belt, but they'd be able to do this job really easily. Probably finish the whole picture in about a minute. The speed some of those machines go at. And that's just a little bit of plastic. Which now plastics everything with static electricity. Ah, looks like a really nice picture, does this? That's fairly obviously why I chose it in the first place when I bought it, but these, by the way, are not particularly expensive kits. The diamond dot kits are quite expensive. I think they're expensive, and I don't see why they are that expensive. Never had one, so the quality of them may be significantly better than this. I don't know, but I bought about 6 or 7 of these kits for 10 UK pounds, and just one diamond dots kit from the same retailer actually was about £26 UK. So quite a lot of difference in cost. Whether the value is worth it, I don't know. I wasn't about to spend £26 on one kit to find out. £10 for about 6 of them. That's not bad. I don't mind that. So the expectation is that tomorrow night you're spending $400 for a tablet that usually costs $1,200 plus. I don't think those Huion tablets were the 1200, are they? I mean, I know the Wacom versions probably are, but either way, I guess what I was going to say then is these might be cheaper. They might not necessarily be as good value, or they might, the diamond dot kits may be absolutely fantastic about the way they look or something like that, which makes their price worthwhile. That may be the case, but I've found these sort of quite fun to put together and to do. The pictures have produced some quite, I think, quite stunning sort of results. So I'm happy with these clones. yeah, as we were saying, the Huion ones always were that sort of price. But then, I mean, you can apply the same sort of thing. They are replicating that which you would get from Wacom, for example, or possibly now from Microsoft with the Microsoft Surface. So they're attempting to give you the same things at the cheaper price, just like these have done, I guess, the manufacturers of these particular kits. There's nothing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong either with your Huion tablets or with these kits. I've not tried the real diamond dots, and I've not tried a Huion tablet. Because I bought a Wacom version, and that is that I did that, and that's a few years ago now. But I did that because I have had non-Wacom graphics tablets in the past. That's the surfaces you draw on, not a thing with a screen, and they've sort of worked but not really been well supported, and have not really worked very well, and it's been hard to get the right drivers and things like that, and they've never updated drivers for the next operating system. So I kind of got tired of trying them and saved up and bought a Wacom. But that, as I say, is a few years ago now. So but kind of that sort of experience, if you like, made me a little bit wary about getting ones that weren't Wacom. But there again, I'm sure other people don't have that problem. Plus, Wolfie, I tend to get cynical though as well, and I go, well, if others are selling them for like $1,400 and Huion are selling them for $400, and the specs are the same, then I get cynical and I go, so why are the different prices? If the specs are the same, and the in theory, then you'd expect them to be about the same sort of cost. Now, okay, the original manufacturer will load their prices with the development costs, which the clone makers kind of don't have. But there's still a lot of difference. So I'm just cynical, and I go, I need a bit more for me to go out and buy something like that. I'd need a little bit more sort of convincing. I guess it's a bit, I don't know whether this is true or false or whatever, but it's kind of like sometimes when you look at PCs and you can look at like an older Core Duo processor or one of the newer processors, they might have the same specs, but one's considerably faster than the other, and so the specs don't necessarily tell the story unless you understand what they say. But that's just me. Yeah, they've not, that's partly what I mentioned there. The original company had to develop. They've got R&D costs and things like this, and then when the others are able to make them for because I guess, or they're able to sort of build on what's already out there in order to develop their own products. So they have less R&D costs. Yes, and there is the element of no competition. While there's no competition, somebody can charge whatever they like. Let's just put some more dots into that tray. See what this is good for, that's developing hand-eye coordination. So if you needed to practice that, this would be a good thing to do. Now, when you're doing this, it kind of looks like, you know, it wouldn't take very long. You know, this sort of picture, you know, you look at it and go, maybe an hour. We've been doing this almost half an hour already. Not even finished one colour. Not even done half of the colour that we have got. It takes a lot longer than it looks. So if you ever wanted to give one of these to somebody as a completed one of these to anybody as a present, don't leave it well the night before to do for them. You know, start a couple of weeks beforehand, because you'll need it. And this particular one is only what, half the canvas. Can't remember how long the cat we finished, not so well, just before Christmas took, but that was several weeks. And in that time there was quite a few 2-hour streams where we did it. I guess really what I ought to do is tilt the camera that way whilst I'm here working on one side. Just so I'm on full on frame. Hello! And not got my head tipped off to one side. You need to give a fairly gentle tap. You don't need to sort of make them jump 6 inches in the air. Especially because that's likely to put them all over the desk and or the floor. And they're not fantastically easy to pick up. Right, any more in this bottom bit below the fold, to use a newspaper term? I cannot see any more number 6s. I'm sure there probably will be, that'll come out the woodwork later on, but what we'll do is fold this down to cover up the glue that's there so that doesn't get contaminated. And what I'm going to do actually is just pull this down a little bit and work my way down from the top. But by only pulling that down a little bit I can use it to rest my hand on. I didn't know I was going to do this when I started tonight, but one of the things I guess I ought to remember in the future when I'm going to do one of these is get it out and sort of lay it flat and give it time to sort of these folds to uncrease if they will. You don't have to do them in any particular order. I'm just going wherever I feel like it. Other than I'm sort of gradually just working my way down from the top just so that I can fold the plastic back like this to rest my hand on. Okay, well, fine. Okie dokie. I've still got some mince pies on my desk over to the left of me. I've got 3 left over. And it will be at least 3 nights before I've eaten them all, because I will have one in the evening, was about to say one at once, but that doesn't mean the same thing. There's not many people that sort of cram 2 or more into their cake all at the same time, to use a phrase that I haven't heard in many a year. I don't actually. Well, I think it will be finished a lot sooner, and I think it's giving the illusion of going quite fast. Partly, I think, because the actual image itself is smaller. I mean, this is about half the size of the canvas, whereas the cat, every single colour, the whole canvas was dots, so there was at least twice as many. I don't think I'm working any faster at it. It's I think I'm kind of working at the same speed, but yeah, I guess maybe I've had a bit of practice, so maybe that is making a difference. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up these the dots that are in the tray here before we finish. So there's not many to go, but I don't particularly want to get any more out, I don't think. Because what will happen now is I won't be able to get these dots to turn over. Okay, and the last one that's in there is kind of broken in that it's got 2 dots stuck back to the back that won't separate. They're kind of welded together. Who says breaking them apart, and I'm finding that they go all over the place. At least one of them's gone on the floor and the other one has gone somewhere else on the side of the easel there, but never mind. Right, well, that I think is it for this evening. So we finished off Out of the Dark. The leopard is done. And to fill in the end of the stream, we started work on this magic dots. Just to, oh, there's a dot. Just on this elephant. Just started that this evening. But the intention is tomorrow night to do some wood carving. I don't know yet. I have currently got 2 choices. One is to do something like a wand, which will probably be knife carving, starting with a long thin block of wood, or perhaps one of the Hearthstone cards that I've already done the Pyrography on. Perhaps the Feral Gibber perhaps looks quite a good one to do carving on. And that'll be using hand chisels, or palm chisels as they're called. So it might well depend if I've got a suitable piece of wood, because I don't have that much spare I don't have that much wood for carving, so I'll have to have a look, see if I've got one that's about the same sort of size, or about a suitable size and shape for that, and then prep that up for the stream tomorrow. So that'll be my job tomorrow afternoon, because tomorrow morning I'm changing electrical sockets and fixing a fence and probably something else as well. So that's tomorrow afternoon's job, to prepare for the stream. You see, we're just streaming isn't just all the activity we streamers do. We do all sorts of things in between as well for the stream, like find bits of wood, find patterns, mark up the wood so that I don't have to do it on stream, which is a relatively boring activity, and things like that. And you get to see the exciting stuff with sharp chisels and knives and things like that. So, I may leave this on the board, I may not, because I've got that something. I'm working on this off camera, but this is paper, and this is pyrography. You can do pyrography on paper. So this is another leopard, but in extreme, not extreme, but very much close up. It's the same one actually, but I'm doing that in my own time. And I've just thought, that being watercolour paper like that, it probably won't roll very well. I was thinking about when that's finished, I'll probably put that one up for sale. But shipping it might be difficult. I might have to ship flat, which will be relatively expensive, because it will need wood on both sides, or at least on one side of it, to stop it being bent. Oh, you say. Not only streaming, but commercial thoughts as well. Anyway, with that, I'm going to point out a couple of things. Well, I'll point out 3 things, which are the buttons up there. One, to follow the stream. If you're not already following, that would be absolutely fantastic. It helps promote the channel, and also it means that you get notifications when I go live, so you might get to see more of the magic dots or the sharp chisels. When I say sharp, I mean they are kind of like razor type sharp, type scalpel type sharp, and I sometimes scare people with them when they see me chiseling like that or something like that. Of course, the other 2 buttons up there are more direct support to the channel. You've got the bits, which obviously come as bits, and as the streamer, I get the full value of the bits that you contribute, which go towards buying the materials and things like this, and the sharp chisels and the honing blocks and things. And of course, there's a subscription there as well, which goes towards the same thing. So tomorrow night is when I should be streaming again. I try and start streaming as soon after 7 PM as evening meals and things allow, and go on then till approximately 9 PM or a couple of hours, roughly in that sort of area. That's at 7 PM UK time, which is on GMT at the moment, so 7 PM GMT. And I will look forward to seeing you on there. So again, hope to see you on the next stream. Bye for now.